Hi, welcome to Astrology for GAN Traders. My name is Olga Morales. Now, today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. That basically I've been looking at this for many years, and I've got a whole lot of files that I call my GAN files, but I also had this information before I even knew about GAN. So today's topic is the New York Stock Exchange, the Great Pyramid of Giza, and the Pleiades. And you're probably thinking, how are they all related? Well, they actually are. And I want to share with you exactly how. So in 2004, I wrote a novel called The Eclipse of the Soul. And in that novel, I basically it's a based on my research about eclipses, the Saros cycle, and I made a story out of it, okay? But the reason I wrote that book was because I knew that in 2012, um, I was going to have an eclipse on my birthday. So I did a bit of research and I thought to myself, there was something significant about 2012. It wasn't just the alignment of the galactic center and the solstice point. Okay, it was more to do with, in my belief, it was because of the fixed star, or called Alcyone, the central star of the Palladian star system in that year was moving into 0 degrees of Gemini, and also Regulus, which is in Leo, the heart of the lion, was also moving into 0 degrees of Virgo. So they actually are square, those two. Now that's important, that's significant. There's two really important stars moving into a new zodiac sign, which takes a long time. Like 30 degrees of the zodiac in terms of precession is 2,160 years, okay? So for me, when I was researching the whole 2012 phenomena, I believed it was because of the precession of these two major stars. And it happened to be in 2012, on the 20th of May, there was a solar eclipse on conjunct Alcyone, and I happened to be in America at the time for a conference, and we actually got to see it, the actual eclipse, while we were in LA. So that is what is exciting about it. Okay, so I did a lot of research about Alcyone. I wrote an article. Okay, and I had an article published. I think it was 2004, before my book came out, and that was over, I'd say, 21 years ago now. And so it's like it's information that I was already researching before I even met GAN. Okay, so what happened was, when I eventually published my book, somebody rang me and ordered 2 copies of my book. That's what we used to do in the old days, all right? We'd put adverts in magazines and people would actually order our books and we would send it to them. And that's when I got asked the question, have you heard of W.D. Gann? Okay, so that, you know how you do something, you think, I wonder what's going to come out of it. Well, writing that novel actually then put me on a whole new path that this will be my 20th year, okay, this year. So let's get started. What am I looking at here? Okay, I just mentioned that this eclipse, I wanted to show you. So on the 20th of May 2012, there was an eclipse and it was conjunct Alcyone, okay? I just want to move this so I can't see. See Alcyone here, it's 0, 0, it's right in Gemini, and that eclipse was right on conjunct this fixed star. And if you see, Regulus is moved into 0 degrees of Virgo, okay? Now these two stars are square. It's very important. And as I said, the rate of precession is 72. For 1 degree is 72 degrees, and that equals 2,160 years. So if we take that away from 2012, we are looking at 148 BC, when actually Alcyone would have been at 0 degrees of Taurus, okay? So these are the ages of more to do with the star. If you pick a star, like there's also I read somewhere in a book, and I don't remember where, that the great cycle of precession was actually called the Great Year of the Pleiades. So I believe that this star, especially Alcyone, because it's considered the central star of the Pleiades, was actually the anchor that they used to study precession. Okay, so let's get the next slide. So it was believed that the Great Pyramid was the prime meridian of the Earth, okay? According to esoteric beliefs, the Great Pyramid of Giza served as the initial prime meridian, meticulously aligned with the central star of the Pleiadian star system constellation known as Alcyone. I call it Alcyone. People say it's Alcyone. I like Alcyone, and I'll explain why. And then this alignment between the Great Pyramid and Alcyone held profound significance for early astronomers and geographers who saw it as a cosmic connection between the Earth and the heavens. It symbolized a harmonious integration of celestial and terrestrial realms, as above, so below, suggesting a profound understanding of the universe's interconnectedness. Okay. Now, the Palladian star system has been one of the most revered objects in history. Okay, this is part of my article that I wrote. Poetry, mythology across all cultures. According to cultural traditions, the seven visible stars of the Pleiades was referred to many names, such as the Seven Sisters, Kritika, Kima, Flock of Doves, Hens, Virgins of Spring, Sailor Stars, and the Seven Atlantic Sisters. Okay, this is interesting, this Atlantic connection. The Pleiades was also known as the Seven Sisters by indigenous people in North America, Siberia, and Australia, and this common heritage means that they were discovered more than 40,000 years ago. So, in Australia especially, the Seven Sisters is a really important constellation, cluster of stars, that they actually call them their countrymen. That's where they say they're seeded from. Okay, now Alcyone or Alcyone as the central sun. So ancient traditions state that Alcyone was the central spiritual sun, the mother sun that emits creative light, that which births great teachers of the light into the world. It was believed to be the center of the universe around which our solar system revolves. Our current astronomers do not support this idea. But in the 1850s, it was well accepted. Science has at last discovered that the sun is not the dead center with the planets and comets wheeling around it, but itself stationary. It's now ascertained that the sun is also in motion around some other and vastly mightier center. Astronomers are fully agreed as to what or where the center is. Some, however, believe that they have found the direction of it to be the Pleiades, and particularly Alcyone. To the distinguished astronomer, Professor J.H. Mulder, belongs to the honour of making this discovery. He said, Alcyone, then, as far as science goes, would seem to be the mighty throne. Look at this word, mighty throne, in which the whole system of gravitation has a central seat and from which the Almighty governs his universe. So this is like this, I love that word, the midnight throne. Okay, so this is like, there was a belief there of this, okay? So Alcyone, it's broken up, means the center. So Alcyone was called Al-Wasat, the central one by the Arabs, and Tenanmu, I can't pronounce it, the foundation stone by the Babylonians. I found a next quote of a wonderful book about ancient constellations. You may have read it already. It's called the Mazzaroth, right? Wasat, an Arabic name for Alcyone, transmitted by Ulugh Beige from early Arabian astronomy, is the center. it does testifies, like Alcyone, to the knowledge of the first astronomers of long lost but lately removed fact that this group is the centre of the revolving containing the same reference. If explained by its primitive roots, the ancient name Alcyone, now so celebrated in the annals of science, is evidently of Oriental origin, having an Arabic and Old Hebrew article al prefixed to its root Sion, centre. Now, when I was reading all this, I thought, oh, Sion sounds like something else, it sounds like. Its meaning, centre foundation, anticipates one of the greatest achievements of modern astronomy, the discovery that to this point the centre gravitates the whole magnificent arrangement of the stars called the galaxy to which our sun belongs. Does Sion not sound like Zion, or Zion, the heavenly city of the gods? Glorious things of thee are spoken, Zion, city of the Lord. In Psalm 87, the Hebrews believed it to be the city of David, the city of the Lord, the city of foundation. So there's a name. It's supposed to be foundation, okay, and the center. Now, let me get into something about the Masons and the Pleiades. Now, remember, W.D. Gammon was a 33-degree Mason. And actually, in Tunnel Through the Air on page 33, if you have a look, I'm not going to tell you, he gives you a clue in there. So if you've got the book, or I want you to have a look yourself without me telling you. Okay, now, because secret societies kept ancient wisdom behind locked doors and Masonry is based on ancient Egyptian mysteries, I have a book by Robert Hewitt Brown. He was a 32-degree Mason, and it's called Stellar Theology and Masonic Astronomy. If you want to get into this sort of information, I recommend this book. So this picture up here is on page 54. It is called A Mystic Ladder That Leads to the Seven Stars of the Pleiades, okay? So what he said about it, he said, this Masonic emblem has a direct allusion to the vernal equinox and thus becomes a beautiful symbol of immortality, reminding us also of that starry home beyond the grave to which the soul of man aspires. It was for this reason that all of the hosts of heavens, a Pleiades was selected as an emblem by our ancient brethren. How amazing is that? I mean, that's how much they revered the Pleiades, okay? The ladder, there was also a ladder made of 7 steps in the Scottish Rite. Sorry, I'm moving this around. And ascends from the red room, that which is said to represent the Great Mother. So you can go deep into this. I've got a lot of information about the Masons, Egypt, and lots of other things, okay? Now, let's go a little bit more about the Bible in stone. So the pyramid was supposed to be, for some, believed to be the Bible in stone, okay? I have this great book, and I was really excited when I found it. It's called The New Light from the Great Pyramid, the Astronomico-Geographical System of the Ancients, okay? Albert Ross Parsons presents a fascinating perspective. He includes a map of the world overlaid with the Zodiac, drawing upon the insights of Piazzi Smyth, the Royal Astronomer of Scotland, who described the Great Pyramid as a Bible in stone. You can get that book. I recommend it as well. I've got it. It's great. And I've been to Egypt 4 times so far. I've been inside the Great Pyramid 4 times. I've laid inside the coffer, they call it, or the sarcophagus, a granite, made out of granite, just enough for you to fit in there. I've had mystical experiences. I recommend everyone to go. I've gone down to the pit. I've gone into the Queen's Chamber. So all those had different levels of initiation. Like the pyramid is actually, I believe, an initiation chamber where, as you go through the different steps, you pick up a different frequency, and it helps you to become enlightened. And also, a lot of people experience leaving their bodies or going to the stars. There's lots of stories that each one of us in our groups experience while we're in there. Excuse me a minute. Okay. Now, Smythe's measurements led to him to assert that the north and south axis of the Great Pyramid was aligned with the central star in the Pleiades, known as Alcyone, around 2710 BC, placing the Pleiades in Taurus directly over the pyramids at 30 degrees east. Okay, so this is going back. All right, these books really, I get excited when I read them about all this information. Now, the parson, I'll show you the map in a minute, but it all goes back to the 12 tribes of Israel. Now we get into Bible stuff here. Gan talks about the tribes of Israel in Tunnel Through the Air. So they were all into the same information. Gan even talks about Atlantis in his book, okay? So what we got, examining the map, which I'll show you in a minute. Oh, all right. He put the region between 30 and 60 degrees, which corresponds to Taurus. One can observe that the Taurus Mountains, okay, now I went near the Taurus Mountains when I did a tour in May last year to Turkey, and we got to go just on the edge of the Taurus Mountain. Why would you call them the Taurus Mountains? Additionally, Parsons overlaid the 12 tribes of Israel with the 12 zodiac signs, offering intriguing juxtaposition of ancient symbolism and geographical features. So this is the map, okay? I'll take myself off there. You can see what he's done here. He's divided the world map into all the zodiac signs and attributed the tribes of Israel with the signs, and plus we have constellations as well, not just the zodiac sign. He's put Atlantis in here, which of course I love it, and that's under the Aquarius, okay? This is the Atlantic in here. Now, you can do a lot with this, but it's really important because this is where Taurus is, okay? So this would be going through Egypt in here. So the Alcyone would be in the map related to Joseph, okay? Interesting, Australia is under Leo, okay? So basically Aries is around this part here where the Taurus starts on top of the Great Pyramid, okay? Now, that makes most of Australia is Leo, so that, and Judea. And you can see all the other places here. But you can see America has got the birds. It's got Lyra, Cygnus, and Cygnus is higher, Cygnus and Aquila, the eagle. Now, isn't that interesting? Why do we always say that the USA is connected to the eagle? The eagle has landed. I'll explain more. America is the eagle, Aquila, okay? He wrote that in the 15th century, this is that Parsons guy, America was rediscovered and later repopulated in the 17th century. Some see this as a rediscovery and repopulation, a reflection of ancient Egypt and the Promised Land, or what is symbolically referred to as the land of the constellation of the eagle, Aquila Aegyptus, and the swan, Cygnus, with Canaan and Canada, okay? These connections to celestial entities and terrestrial geography are believed to be mirrored in America, much like how Russia is associated with the bear, China with the lion, British India with the unicorn, and the Great Pyramid with the Pleiades. Sorry, the last one. Astronomers like Herschel, Proctor, and Smythe, and others have noted that direct connection between the Great Pyramid and the Pleiades, adding to the intrigue surrounding this ancient structure. Okay, so what I've done here, I've actually sort of made a bit of a replica of his chart. I've called them geodetic midheavens. These start from 0 degrees of Aries goes through London, okay? So this is how I believe they like the fact of putting it in, why Greenwich, okay? But I believe it's because it's close enough to when Alcyone was in early degrees of Taurus. And so that's why they chose that location. This is my theory, but I believe it's right. And so it makes sense that they chose that for the prime meridian at the moment, but it's always still connected to Cairo and Egypt. So Taurus is always in this location where the Pleiades was then. But there is a change. I'll explain in a minute. Okay, so these are how all the zodiac signs line up with they're called geodetic midheavens, okay? And you can see Capricorn around here, middle of America is Aquarius is this area. This is going to be important as well. Scorpio, Sagittarius. So this is for you can look at this after I finish the video as well, but this is like really important when it comes to understanding how these ancient, I suppose ancient, but not that ancient, because some of this does go back to Ptolemy. They used to have these maps trying to put these zodiac signs on the world map. And it's interesting how these other, like they're trying to combine the Bible, everything trying to come together with the Great Pyramid. Now, how does this connect to the New York Stock Exchange? Well, it does, and I'll show you. Okay, so Alcyone held significant as a center point, reflecting the spherical nature of Earth, where observers from different locations see varying perspectives simultaneously. For example, when Alcyone reaches its highest point over New York, so it's culminating on the midheaven, it appears to sit precisely over the Great Pyramid. This connection intertwines with beliefs about Freemasons and the Templars, aiming to construct a new Atlantis, as evidenced by the pyramid depicted on the dollar bill, which I'll show you more about in a minute. The historical influence of Freemasonry on the New Stock Exchange is notable. 3 years and 17 days now after George Washington's presidential inauguration in Lower Manhattan, a gathering of 24 investment bankers convened under the buttonwood tree, formalizing the New York Stock Exchange through a mutual agreement to exclusively trade amongst themselves. So this is how it all started, right? At the time, New York served as a capital of the United States of America. Similarly, just as Washington's inauguration coincided with the culmination of the Pleiades on the eve of the Feast of Beltane, the Buttonwood Pact occurred precisely when the sun was aligned with Alcyone at sunrise, down to the very minute of arc. Now, this is not a coincidence, okay? They planned everything to fit in with these stars, obviously with Alcyone, and because it connected exactly with the pyramid, okay? So the natal chart of the New York Stock Exchange directly linked to Alcyone and indirectly to Egypt, illustrating the intricate historical connections embedded in its foundation. So here's a chart. This is for the 17th of May, 1792, the sunrise chart, okay? So there's the sun rising on the horizon or the ascendant, and you can see I've just highlighted Alcyone at 27 degrees 05 of Taurus, exactly with the sun, okay? Now, the other one I wanted to look at is Regulus, which is the heart of the lion, is at about 27 degrees of Leo, and the eagle, Altair, is up here in just the end of Capricorn. Okay, they're important. I'll show you why. Now there's a change. Okay, as I said to you before. Now, if we cast a chart for the 17th of May, 2025, see Alcyone now is a 0 degrees of 20 minutes of Gemini. Okay, so it's moved about just under for 3 or 4 degrees, okay, in that time. And you can see Regulus is at 0 degrees of Virgo, and Altair is actually in 2 degrees of Aquarius, right near Pluto. And Pluto, isn't it interesting? Because when Jupiter and Saturn went into 0 degrees of Aquarius, they actually then came into this area and activated the eagle, okay? So I'll show you more about what that means. Now, remember I said that he was talking about how when the interrelation between New York and Giza, Cairo, you can see what I've plotted here is this is the actually Alcyone. So this is rising, while it's rising on the same day, this is the same moment, while it's rising over New York, it's actually culminating over Egypt. So it's always connected to Egypt, okay? Always. So this is no coincidence. This is planned by the founding fathers of America, but also the ones who were founding the New York Stock Exchange, okay? We know that they used a bull as a symbol of the stock market, bullish, the bear, and that's Taurus, okay? So Alcyone was, in that Taurus area of the sky, okay? So this is what it looked. This is what I wanted to show you about the eagle. There are there's these stars are related. It's called the summer triangle. So there's Altair from Aquila, Vega and Lyra, and Cygnus Deneb. Okay, so these are the birds that are in the zone over America and Canada, according to the map. And the symbolism is incredible. So where am I going with this? Well, I believe that all this information is encoded in the dollar bill of the United States. This is my reasoning. I haven't read it before, so I don't know. I believe that the All-Seeing Eye is actually Alcyone. Alcyone was the planet connected with eyesight. It's a central star. It's believed to be the mighty throne of the Almighty. Now, remember, the people organising and creating these symbols are all Masonic. Okay, they're Masons, and they're always going to have a connection back to Egypt somehow. So, of course, they've put in the 13 levels of the pyramid connected to a measurement. Now, this order, Novus Order Secularum, people believe that means the New World Order, but it actually means another interpretation of that is the New Order of Ages. And I believe that's what it is. They were anticipating, this is my theory, that in the future, their prime star, Alcyone, the center, would be moving into a new sign. And that would be the new order of the ages, because we're moving into a new age according to the star that they're honouring. Okay. Then what have they got on this side? They've got the eagle. Because remember, when Alcyone is rising in Egypt, the eagle is also on the mid-heaven. So these two are always in combination as well. I believe this symbolises Lyra in here, the harp, and this is Aquila, and the stars in here are the part of the constellation. So this is the connection between these two. My theory, okay? Because you can see it on the map as well. So yeah, that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you've done any research on this topic. Now, you know that also, I haven't included it in this, but I might do another one, is that the 4th of July is actually connected to the biggest star of the heavens. I mean, for Egyptian, is Sirius. So even the 4th of July, they used a date. There's no coincidences here, okay? They plan these charts according to mostly the fixed stars, because they're fixed, although we do have precession. So you can see that Alcyone now is, the sun is conjunct Alcyone now on around the 21st of May, okay, because it's moved into the Gemini zone. Now, I find it interesting that we're moving into the Altair, the eagle's moving into Aquarius, and that's to do with, that's actually over America, and also Greenland, that whole area there, and the Atlantic, which is supposed to be Atlantis. So there's some interesting information in there. Is this what they were anticipating? Is that why they put it on the dollar bill? I mean, these are the sort of questions I ask myself. I think that's exactly what it is. I'm sure there's other information in there, but I believe that this is what they were doing. So, and everything stems from the pyramid of Giza. It's there. It's at the center of the major landmass. It's connected to the cardinals of the Earth. It measures the size of the Earth. Now, if you've read my book Dawn of the Seventh Day, I'll give you all the numbers in there, the calculations of the cycles that is connected to the Great Pyramid. So, yeah, it's just like blows my mind when I do this work. Now, this is like stuff that I've had in my files for, nearly 20 years. I feel like I need to talk about it more, so everyone sees that, there's symbolism in everything. And when they planned states in those times, countries, locations, they all have a link to Egypt because they're part of the grid. The ley lines, there's like a lattice that goes around the earth, and the beginning of it starts from the prime meridian, which was the Great Pyramid of Giza. So they believe that if they're connected to that, they're still getting the energy from that area, and even in terms of their financial district as well. So you're never going to look at the New York Stock Exchange the same now, I can guarantee that you can see Alcyone is a really important star. When I was born on the 14th of November, which means that at midnight, the stars of the Pleiades are on the midheaven for me, right? So I've always been very interested in these stars. A lot of people believe we're seeded from these stars. I'm pretty sure we are. That's why the Masons and all the secret societies put so much focus on them. There's a seeding from this place. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my little presentation about all things esoterica and yeah, everything is linked, guys. Okay, thank you.